Hey folks, welcome to episode number 5 of the Rhubarb Travelers podcast. We are recording this show on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. This is Blake. With me as always is Damon. How are you doing, my friend?
You got the date right this time.
I got the date right. This is take 2, folks. You didn't hear the first one.
Doing well. It's been a busy day. We'll talk about it later, but Royal Caribbean, released their 2027 itineraries today.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to get in on it. So
you already booked something. You
already booked first day. Already booked.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So, before we get into our show, we wanted to send our shout out to our Patreon subscribers. And today's shout out is longtime friend of the show, Jeremy. He has been with us in various iterations of this show for a while. So Jeremy, thank you so much for being a Patreon subscriber. Although I have to say your meme game has slacked a little bit, Jeremy. We got to pick up the memes. All right. Right.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at it, but you got to get back on it. All right.
Yeah, we need more people in the group. Everyone come to the group.
That's right. So if you would like to become a Patreon subscriber, please go over to patreon.com, do a quick search for Rhubarb Travelers, and please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber. It helps out quite a bit. All right. Moving
DVC
on.
news?
Yeah, DVC news and tips. Not a whole lot of news, but an interesting one, at least. Lakeshore Lodge construction update. It has now been confirmed to have a lazy river that will be running through it. So
I saw the pictures of what river country looked like and then what Lakeshore Lodge looked like. And it just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, like how much really miss out on river country and how awesome it was. Like it was one of those things. It was pretty much my introduction to Disney was that trip, right? Because again, my parents couldn't afford to take us. My aunt and uncle took me, and they didn't even have kids at that point. They took me to river country. I don't even remember like where we stayed at the Contemporary. Okay. And we went to river country, and that was that was my first Disney experience, and I miss it. So this was a tough one for me to kind of see kind of the overlay. It looks good. And yes, there's a lazy river. I mean, but it's not river country.
Yeah, you've got nostalgia going there.
Yeah, I do. And I just feel like it's such a good, water park. Like, it's such a good way to do a water park. Like, you could do it now without, the crazy lake water, right? You just kind of paint the bottoms a darker color and you kind of make it feel like that. But I don't know. Like, I feel like a third water park would be great. Maybe they have something in the cut, but this is good. I just wonder what else will be there kind of as, kind of hidden gems. But yeah, I mean.
So was this your very first experience with Disney World? Like, did you go to this before you even went into a park?
It's funny because, it's so long ago that I don't remember exactly. And out of that trip, honestly, I have pictures of river country and I have pictures of animals, I don't even know from where at that time. I mean, obviously something was at Disney, they had animals and stuff, but I don't remember where. I don't actually remember the park at all. I think I did, but I'm not sure. Probably. I mean, I wouldn't see how I wouldn't have, to be honest with you, but that's just not what sticks, right? It's funny what sometimes sticks in your head, and river country is what stuck in my head for sure.
Right. Well, the folks, we've got construction is ongoing at Lakeshore Lodge. That will be coming online most likely later next year. So
yeah, I wonder if I'll buy points there. I may, though. What we've been doing for DVC is just kind of I know everyone doesn't like this, but it's the way that I do it is I just buy points, get my 10-year, loan or whatever the case may be. And then when that loan's over, I just buy more points and get another 10-year loan. I don't care. It's probably it's not probably, it definitely is not the best way to do DVC. I still make my money back though, right? So it's people complain, oh, well, don't put it on a loan. But okay, so you have a loan for 10 years. You trust me, you still make your money back.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not like that loan affects you making your money back. Yes, you don't make it back as quickly, but so what? Like, I don't mind having that small little payment every month just to have more points. So
Yep.
I may do that.
I was going to say, what you save in future inflation of room rates more than makes up for whatever interest you pay.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this might be one. I'm looking at the rooms and everything. It doesn't. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll have to see what it looks like inside and what the rooms look like inside before I make a decision.
All right. So now that's a good segue talking about Damon and all of his points that he has. Damon, you just made some reservations, right?
I did. So
where are you going?
Going to Hilton Head. And again, like we have family dynamics that kind of, we don't go to Hilton Head all that often. Have been to the resort once. I've been to Hilton Head every year, excluding the past 2 years, I think. Gosh, we must have hit darn near, 18 years in a row. Anyway, we were kind of having a discussion with my daughter about what she wanted to do for her Sweet 16. I'm one of those parents like, hey, let's have a blowout. Like, let's go crazy. And she was just not for that. Some of the girls at school that she had gone to, they have these huge parties. There's 100 people. Like everyone gets dressed up. It's at some, event space in the area. And she just wasn't about that. But, what she had planned on was like, well, I'm just going to go to a concert in Charlotte. Like, okay, you can do that anyway, though. Like, that's nothing special. And if that's what you want to do, like, that's fine, right? I don't ever tell her what she has to do. But what I said was, why don't you do that? And then what about if we go to Hilton Head for a day or two? And what's interesting is that, you kind of forget, because when you're at a resort like that you don't have the ability to just say, hey, I'm going to book 2 days in March, right? Even though school's not out, like the only thing we were actually able to get was a 3-bedroom for one night. And so we took that, we waitlisted another night, but I was like, well, I didn't want to get stuck. So what we did was we waitlisted another night and then got a room at a hotel, like one of the nicer hotels that's on the beach for the night before. So that way we're still going to go 2 nights regardless. It's either going to be hotel Disney or Disney. And we have the ability to get our money back on the hotel, like up until like a week and a half before.
Right.
So that's what we're shooting for. But I think it will be a nice party. She'll invite some friends. There's, great places to have dinner. You can go super fancy. You can go not super fancy. You have the beach. She's been a big proponent of going to the beach. And, since we're not in New Jersey anymore, the beach is not that it's any further for us, but it's just not like in New Jersey, the beach is like kind of a rite of passage.
Right.
And in North Carolina, it is not really like that. So she doesn't get to go as often as she would like. So I think that will be fun. So yes, we will be down there in March, at least for a night. Hopefully we'll be there for 2 nights, but we'll be at Disney for a night and hopefully 2 nights. And we'll have to see where we're going to get a cake from. That will be fun too.
Do you normally eat off property when you go there, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's just too much good food to not eat off property.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten on property there.
We've
only been once, but like maybe twice. Now, now that I think about it, maybe it was twice. I don't remember. But yes, this will be, it will be fun though. I think that's something good to do for a Sweet 16. Again, it's one of those things where you kind of can let them do whatever they want because you feel pretty confident and comfortable because it's Disney, right? So
right. Yeah.
We'll be good there.
All right. And when he comes back from that, he'll give a trip report, but we now have a trip report from one of our listeners, Russell. Russell C. went to Walt Disney World, and we asked him for a trip report. And Russell, my friend, you delivered. Because
he delivered like it was a dissertation. Like, he had to defend this in front of everyone. So
no life. Wait a minute. I'm going to let Damon talk this over, but before he does, Russell sent in, no lie, a 10-page essay, single space. Microsoft Word said there were over 5,000 words in it. So Russell, my hat's off to you, my friend. So.
And I love it, right? Like I love it. So I had to cheat a little bit and kind of get it summarized by our favorite AI apps here. So this was a pretty big trip, right? It had 13 people, 5 kids. It was celebrating, 75th birthday and all that, the annual passes and all that. So they stayed in Saratoga, which I think is very nice. I'm a fan of Saratoga. I think the point value there is pretty darn good. They had a 3-bedroom villa. It's big enough, right? And it's all that. And they got to use the concierge program, and they went to Typhoon Lagoon. They, the whole group got on Guardians of the Galaxy. Wow, they did an awful lot. And, I guess his brother had ridden Rise of the Resistance for the first time. And then they dedicated a fair amount of time to Magic Kingdom and did, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. They had some low wait times over at Tron and a lot of candy and this, that, and the other thing. So that's great. What we're going to do is we love these trip reports, and we're actually going to kind of catalog them over at our website. So that's rhubarbtravelerspodcast.com. Is that what it is? I think so.
Yes.
Or is it just Rhubarb Travelers? See, now you got, I think it's just rhubarbtravelers.com. Yeah. So if you go over there, give us a day, we will have this trip report, and we'll be also taking other trip reports as well. I mean, if you want to make them this in depth, that's great. If you want to make them a little bit shorter, that's fine too. And we'll keep them over at the website so everyone can kind of look at them. And I think that's a great thing. So thank you to Russell. And like I said, everyone make sure that they go and read it.
Yeah. And the very last thing he talked about was that concierge program.
Yeah.
That seems really interesting. I kind of want to get Russell on just so we can talk about that concierge program.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
All right, folks. So again, like Damon said, if you are heading down to Orlando, and it doesn't have to be Disney World, it could be Universal or it could be any other theme park, but we would love to have trip reports from you. So please reach out to us and let us know if you're willing to give us a trip report. All right. Before we get into the news for this week's show, we are going to have this word from our sponsor. We'd like to welcome our inaugural sponsor to the show, Don'tResistTheTravel.com. Folks, vacation travel should be exciting, memorable, and most importantly, completely stress-free. Ha! Right. However, as we all know, planning that perfect trip for you and your family can be anything but that. And that's where the folks at Don't Resist the Travel come in and save the day. Whether you're traveling with your family and want a vacation that's fun, effortless, and full of memories, or you're looking for a luxury escape with VIP experiences, private tours, and hand-picked resorts, the folks at Don't Resist the Travel handle every detail just for you. When you work with Don't Resist the Travel, you don't just book a trip, you build an experience that's truly tailored to your personal needs. So don't resist. You know you want to travel. Visit Don'tResistTheTravel.com and start planning your next unforgettable getaway today. And make sure to let them know the guys at Rhubarb Travelers Podcast sent you. That's Don'tResistTheTravel.com. And we're back. All right. So park news, lots of refurbishment news coming out for the last 2 weeks. First one is Mickey's PhilharMagic is going to be undergoing refurbishment. It has actually just started back on November 1. It will run for 3 weeks until November 22nd. I didn't see any details about exactly what's going on with this refurb, but hopefully it's not too major. A big one, though, is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It is now down. Well, it's been down, but it will be down until later in 2026. The ride track has been replaced. The crews are now working on refurbishing the show scenes within the ride. So you should see some ride envelope testing that's going to be starting here, hopefully before the end of the year. All of that should lead to a 2026.
I mean, we're starting to see some of the scene work that's happening.
Right.
Man, I have such a difference of opinion, internal tussling, because on one hand, I get that it needs to be refurbed, but on the other hand, I have nostalgia. But then think the time they take to refurb and the money they take to refurb could be put into new stuff. I don't know how to feel about it. Big Thunder Mountain is not one of my favorite rides, to be honest with you. I just think it's okay. I think there's other rides that are much better than that. So I guess, I think they're trying to just get this done before Villain. Yeah, I get that. But then on the other hand, I think to myself, okay, just some scene refurbishment. I don't know.
Yeah. So other big refurb news, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is now closed for major refurbishment. I cannot talk today for some reason. So they are redoing the ride system. So from the news, they're going to include the new laser gun shooting system that is already in place over at Disneyland. And it's going to be new car control. So all of that is coming to Orlando.
And this is one where like I'm behind this, right? So like this needed to happen. It's not like they needed, the ride system to kind of, be a little bit better. And they definitely needed new guns and car control. So I'm okay with this one.
Good. And then after that, Carousel of Progress is going to go down for a refurb. This will probably not happen until after Buzz Lightyear is done and back open, but they're going to be redoing the initial introductory scene.
Yeah, I think we talked about this already, right?
Going to be adding in Walt. The whole thing about all of these refurbs, folks, is that with Big Thunder Mountain down and now Buzz Lightyear down, those are some big people eaters, right? So
Buzz, definitely.
Yeah, capacity is going to be an issue for the remainder of the year. So just be aware of that as you are heading down to Orlando for at least the next 5 or 6 months. It's going to be some capacity issues that you'll have to deal with. All right. In other park news, Zootopia, the Better Zoogether, is going to be opening up this Friday in a couple of days, November 7th. And of course, this is replacing the It's Tough to Be a Bug show over at Animal Kingdom. There have been some previews that have been available. The DVC member preview actually happened earlier, a couple of days ago, back on November 1 through November 3. And annual pass holder previews will start tomorrow from the date of this recording. It's starting tomorrow, November 5, and happening on the 5th and the 6th.
So I've been hearing pretty good things. They, reused a fair amount of the functionality of It's Tough to Be a Bug, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Which I like because I thought that was always pretty good, right? Even though kids got scared a little bit, you would have thought that they would have made the adjustment there, but it doesn't seem that way. And then I heard that there's a really good animatronic, but there's also, I don't know, a different type of, kind of interaction as well that was different from It's Tough to Be a Bug. I always liked It's Tough to Be a Bug. I always thought that, again, the spiders, I'm not a spider person. I think it is a little scary for the kids sometimes, but I think this will be interesting. And while it's not a new ride per se, right, this is another kind of, I can get behind this, I think. Right. I mean, I love It's Tough to Be a Bug, but I get how they're kind of.
They need to refresh the IP on it because.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, right? Like, Zootopia, I think as an IP fits well. So,
right. So one other bit of note for this, they are using a virtual queue for the annual pass holder.
I hate that though.
Yeah.
I hate virtual queues.
It's going to be just like every other virtual queue. So you do it at 7:00 in the morning or 1:00 in the afternoon. No word yet if this is going to continue on when it opens. I can't imagine, even if it does, I can't imagine this going for a virtual queue much longer than a month.
I mean, who knows though, right? They do love virtual queues. And as long as you have the ability to single pass lightning lane it, like that's fine too, I guess. Right. Just give me an option. I want to have the option to be able to go if I want to.
Right. All right. Let's move over to Hollywood Studios. There are some changes coming to the holiday specials over there called Jollywood Nights. So it's running on select dates from November 8th, which that is this weekend it starts, through December 22nd. It runs from 7:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m.
That's way too late for me.
Yeah, so that means Damon would actually experience about 30 minutes of the entire
when I went to it last time, though, I mean, I didn't go to that one. I went to the one at Magic Kingdom. Or whichever one I went to. I stayed up pretty late though, like later than I normally would have.
Man,
with this time change, I'll tell you the honest truth. In this past, a couple of days, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go to bed." My wife's like, "It's 6:15," and I was like, "Oh, but it's dark out though." Like it was 6:15 though. I was like, "Oh, I guess I can't do it."
Man, I remember back when we took the boys when they were younger. If it was the extended hours. at nighttime, like the park would just stay open till
Yeah.
12:30, and we were there from rope drop until that extended over. We were commando during that. So
no, I couldn't do it.
All right. So some changes about Jollywood Nights are that ticket holders are going to be able to enter 30 minutes earlier this year than last year. So you will be able to get in starting at 5:30, provided that you have the special ticket for Jollywood Nights. There's going to be 2 new shows running. The Little Mermaid, a music adventure, and the Disney Villains, Unfairly Ever After. Now, those are already there in the parks, but they're going to be added to the events as part of Jollywood Nights. Okay. My guess is that they are running these again just to have some capacity.
Yeah, it could be.
At the event to keep people from the extremely long lines that are the character meet and greets that always are there for these events. The big character events. Speaking of
I didn't know about all this.
Yes. Life Day Chewbacca is coming to Galaxy's Edge for Jollywood Nights. If you are not familiar with what Life Day Chewbacca is, then you need to go, as soon as you are done listening to this podcast, go to YouTube and search for Star Wars Holiday Special. Okay? That is where the Life Day Chewbacca, it was a completely horrible TV show that showed one time and never again. But Chewbacca, the story up behind it is Chewbacca is trying to get home to his planet for what they call Life Day, which is his version of Christmas, the holidays. And so the whole show is about him trying to get back. Anyway, it showed one time. It was so bad it never showed again. But now it's kind of, after so many years, has come back. People want it. And so now Life Day Chewbacca is going to become...
I love this, though. Yeah, this is
canon. He is now canon in the Star Wars galaxy. It's going to be it is going to be on November 17th this year. And the reason it is on November 17th is because that is the date that the holiday special first aired way back in, I believe it was the late 70s, I think, or early 80s when that came out. I cannot remember when that show first aired, but.
Man, that should have been right in the notes here, though.
I know. All right. Other character meet and greets that are coming. Party Source Rex.
I like that. Yeah, yep. That's a good one.
From Toy Story is going to be in Toy Story Land. And then Bing Bong from Inside Out is going to be on Grand Avenue.
Another good one.
Yep. Over at Echo Lake, Max Goofy as Powerline will be there.
I just don't even like that. I don't like that movie.
Powerline has a big following for some.
It does. I don't like it, but yeah.
Stitch, dressed up as Santa Claus, is going to be over at Echo Lake as well. And then this is a kind of a rare one, I think. Baloo and King Louie from the Jungle Book.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll be there. So if you are into some rare characters, this is a good place to go. A new character is going to be over at Rock and Roller Coaster, Miguel from Coco.
Nice.
So.
A lot to see.
All right, let's actually go over to the West Coast, and they are doing some drone testing at the Disney Ranch in Santa Clarita. And this is unfortunately, this show doesn't look like it's going to be coming to the States. From what I understand, this is a show that's going to be debuted at Disneyland Paris.
And I don't know how I feel about the drones. Like, it looks kind of cool, but it's still not fireworks. Like, I get you can make more complex things, but things that go boom, I think, kind of supersede things that go blank.
Now, if you look at the video, and it's out there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's got to be at least 1,000 drones doing this.
There's a lot. But
along the lines of what you were saying about fireworks, unfortunately, if I had to put on my fortune teller's hat, I think this is the future of fireworks shows is going to be drones. Because
partially, maybe. I just think people like the boom, though.
I agree with you, but from a money standpoint, I think it's going to be cheaper in the long run to do drone shows than fireworks shows because fireworks are one and done. And
hopefully we get some combination of both, some hybrid combination I would like. I think that would work out well also.
Yeah. So if you go online, look up the drone testing over at the Disney Ranch, it's cool though. It looks really
cool.
neat. Very detailed, the images that they're doing. All right, next up, Disney is changing, thank goodness, how it does merchandise sales to offer holiday merch online, and this is all about battling the resale market.
I agree. We were talking about this just in general, me and my wife, not even Disney specific, but like if you're looking for something, it used to be like after the holidays, you would go and you could get a discount. Like now the resellers just buy everything after the holidays too. So when things go on sale, they don't come in and buy one of something, they buy them all and then they mark them up. It's terrible because you used to be able to get like, if you wanted one of the artificial Christmas trees, wait till after Christmas, they'll be cheaper, but not anymore because they just get bought up. Same thing here.
Yeah. And so what Disney is doing is now, instead of, like Damon was saying, instead of waiting till after the event to put things online, they are doing it right now so that if for some reason you can't make it to the event, you can always buy it online, and hopefully that will put a dent on these resellers.
I hope so.
Making money. I hope so too, because man, the pictures you see of people carrying literal trash bags of merch out of the parks is crazy.
Yeah, and it's not just there. It's Pokemon cards at Target and Walmart. It's everywhere. There should be some limitations.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, moving on. Let's move over to an entire different continent, and we're going to talk about Disney Shanghai. They are building a new resort. This will be the 4th themed hotel at that resort. It's going to include an expansion of the shopping, dining, and entertainment that they have going on there. There's no word on the exact theme yet. The interesting thing about this is they are announcing this 4th hotel before they are even done building the 3rd hotel.
And that tells you something.
Yeah. So there is definite demand over there. And so all of this is happening right now as Shanghai Disney Resort is welcomed its 100 millionth guest. So 100 million people already at Shanghai Disneyland.
That's crazy.
So anyway, new resort coming there from the concept art. And of course, it's just concept art at this point. Looks really nice. So could be a bucket list trip. All right, folks, that is everything for park news. So now it's time for the after show.
Kind of my favorite part. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, folks, it's time for the after show. First thing, right out of the gate, Universal Orlando announces Epic Universe 2026 ticket prices. And let's see, from what I saw on the website, it ranges from, the low point is about $164. This is going to be on a Wednesday or Thursday in January, and there's some of those dates are in February as well, all the way up to a $194 in late March and early April. And of course, that coincides with all of the school spring breaks. These are just individual day ticket prices. So obviously, if you're going to buy an entire week worth of tickets, you're going to get a little bit of a break on that.
Well, I love that. Yeah. Now that it's included in park hopping. That's huge.
Yep. So what Damon is talking about now, Epic Universe has now included, and this is breaking news, by the way, Epic Universe is going to be included now in park hopping. So they've got some ticket packages specifically for that. Most of them are going to be 4-park 3-day tickets or 3-park 3-day tickets. And the only difference between those two really is that they don't include Volcano Beach in the 3-park.
Volcano Bay.
Volcano Bay. That's what I'm saying. The water park.
And it's funny. I have not been there, and it's on our list of like, why haven't we been there? But it's tough to make it there for, like, it's one of those things where like, I don't want to pay the price for Volcano Bay 1-day ticket. I want it wrapped up in something. But last time we just didn't have enough time. Like, that was a quick epic trip. So let me tell you, well, first let's just say that Harry Potter and Forbidden Journey will have a short refurb from November 10th to the 20th, which is, short refurb. But here's the interesting thing about Epic Universe. And I say this all the time. I want to be there when it opens, because that is the one time in theory that everything's going to be up Everything's going to be operational. Things haven't changed. So right now, right, we're already dealing with people with, there's some like cornhole in front of like the Universal Monster ride, like the burning windmill is down, like all the things that are not working for people. Like I said to my wife, I said, see, this is why you go early. This is why you go when it opens, because now you can get to do everything that you wanted to do. And again, I heard it's kind of busy in comparison to when we went. We went, it wasn't even busy.
And going first thing also allows you to experience it the closest to how the engineers dreamed it up, right?
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a B mode where things break down. So the earlier you can go, the closer to the dream or the closer to the image or vision that the engineer.
Yeah. Plus these poor people that go and, you know, they don't get to ride things.
Yeah.
Like my thing was, and we were scared that Stardust Racers was down the day that we were there, and we're like, oh no, but it finally opened back up because we've ridden everything now, right? I don't need to rush back there, which is great. It's a great feeling where you're like, oh, I missed this one ride, or oh, I missed that. We plain just got lucky with the Harry Potter ride. Like I said, my daughter just made the decision. She didn't want to do Stardust Racers. So we turned, boom, Harry Potter 20 minutes, which is unreal because that's normally not the case. People waiting 2-3 hours. Like we were done with the whole park, riding everything twice, excluding Harry Potter. And I think the werewolf ride, which was just not worth it. And out of there by 2:00.
Is the werewolf ride a 4D screen?
No. It's just like, it's not even like a coaster. It's like, it's a coaster, but it's not like a big coaster and you kind of just spin around. Like, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it.
Okay.
So, you know, speaking of Harry Potter, Disney's always looking to kind of figure out what they can do to compete with Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, they look down the street and they think, man, what if? Because they had the chance to buy Harry Potter way back in the day.
Yeah. And I think that happens with a lot of things. But, you know, for them now, it's like, you know, you do have Harry Potter kind of making that resurgence with the HBO series that will be coming.
Right.
And it's going to be back, right? It's going to be back. And it's funny. It will be interesting how Universal handles that because they have such this amount in the original Harry Potter technology, right? Like the train, what are they going to do? Are they going to redo the voices?
Right.
One never knows, right? But based on that, you know, this is rumor that we're saying that Disney has purchased the film rights to Impossible Creatures, right? So did they do that because they're looking to create a world along the same lines?
I think so. I mean, oh my God.
But is it a park thing or is it a Disney Plus thing? Or is it both?
Ooh.
And here's the other dilemma. So they purchased the film rights to this and you say, okay, so again, I didn't know much about this because it follows this boy named Christopher who discovers an archipelago, which again is a Rudolph thing for me, the baby new year, right?
Right.
And then, you know, teams up with this girl on the run to find out why magic is not around and magical creatures are dying. But the problem that they have here is that, you know, it's comprised of 2 books, right? One released in 23 and 25 with 3 more books planned. Yeah. Okay. So Rundell recently became the first UK children's author since Rowling to reach the #1 position on children's book charts in the UK and US. But the thing is, it's not done. Yeah. Like Game of Thrones is a perfect example, right? We can all relate
I was
to
just
like
thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading the books when the books first came out. I've had many discussions with Martin himself in person, right? Super nice guy to me, right? But look at what happened. And like, it's definitely a stain. So like, can you say that this is going to be a great ending? We don't know yet. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this, but it is always interesting to see that Disney's looking to do that. Right. And again, the same thing, like when Harry Potter first came out, they didn't necessarily know how big it was going to be, but once it picked up and was huge, right, the parks were built way after the fact.
Right. And, you know, the information we have right now is that they've just purchased the rights. There's, you know, very little development, if any development has started on a film yet. I'm sure there's been some, you know, story ideas and script writing, but
Yeah.
nothing major. So
And-
the first film is still 2 to 3 years away, right?
So, and here's the other thing. We had Harry Potter. Those films were, as close to perfect as I can think of a film, to be honest with you, in relation to source material, right?
Right.
And even that wasn't enough, right? They pulled out so many threads that they're going back and creating an 8-year series, 9-year, 8-year, whatever they decided HBO series to get more out of those books.
Right.
And I've always find that interesting. I've told people many of times, I'm not a movie person anymore. People ask me about movies, and the big thing for movies always was that they had a larger budget. But now with the way, CGI is done and special effects are done, you don't necessarily need this huge budget to create this realistic world. So
Right.
for me, I'm not a movie guy. Listen, the last movie I just watched, I did have to watch the reboot of Vacation, which I know came out a while ago, but I just hadn't seen it. But outside of that, I don't watch movies. I only really watch series.
Interesting. I wonder if I'm looking back over did it specifically say a film series, or did it say, or is it
Yeah, I don't
possible
know.
it could be a TV series?
Not sure. That I'm not sure. And it would depend where it goes, right, to see how I would feel about it. But
Yeah.
interesting nonetheless. I'm always I'm a fantasy person, so I'm always happy when fantasy series, kind of get looked at.
Yeah.
I might actually have to read this now. I've never read it, but it might make me kind of give it a quick read.
Yeah. My kids never read it. I think they've aged out. At least I know our youngest one has probably aged out, which means the older two have aged out. So, yeah. But
I use all those Amazon digital credits I get.
Yeah.
Right. I don't need anything that fast. Well, that's not true. Some things I need that fast, right? But most of the time I don't need stuff that fast. So I just go, hey, I'll get it on Wednesday for $1 digital credit. And then I'll buy Impossible Creatures with my digital credit and not have to pay anything. I like that.
Right. I kind of wonder why they never tapped into, are you familiar with the Kingdom Keeper series of books?
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they haven't done anything with that yet. I mean, it's not like they've got to license out that IP. It's their own IP. I mean,
yeah, but I think it almost hits a little too close to home, and it can mess with what they want to do in terms of, I think, other story stuff, right? I mean, think about it. We have this huge series that I don't even know if you're aware of, from Disney, right? With the whole, what's that thing? I'm looking it up because I kind of forget. It's the Alice one. Oh gosh, you know where I'm going to go to look it up, I think? I'm going to go to BSC Kids. I think somebody wrote about it there.
Shameless self-plug there.
Yes, shameless is absolutely right. Yes, and it is here. It's called Twisted Wonderland, right? So what this is an anime and it arrives on Disney Plus, but it's based on Alice in Wonderland. And I think it's such a huge anime, that's also something that'd be interesting, but it changes, you know what I mean? That, I think that's where you kind of worry about, it kind of changes what you're talking about in terms of canon stories, right? If you watch the trailer for that, because I actually haven't watched the show, you have Alice and then you have all these anime characters and this academy and all the things that would throw off, canon stories about Alice.
Right.
So.
All right. The other bit of Aftershow news, I'm going to let Damon talk about because it's about him and a cruise that he just booked.
So again, we have the first day out of cruise booking for 2027. So we are skipping 2026 in terms of cruising. And it's because my son was sick on that last cruise. And it's funny because he was like, I'm never going on a cruise again. And then it was like, all right, we're going to make one for 27. Are you okay with that? I don't know. We'll just see. And I was like, okay, cool. But then at the end of the day, I was like, could we have gone on a cruise this year? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I understand you were sick, but you just got to get past that. I think he thought, and again, I get it, that he was sick from the ship, oh, I didn't like being out on the water, but we had been on so many other cruises where he wasn't sick. But if you're sick, then the rocking of the boat is definitely worse. I'll tell you, I was on the Utopia, I think twice the whole trip as 4 days, for one brief 10-second time frame twice that I felt the ship. They're just so big. Yeah. Anyway, So we're looking at a 2027 trip. So this is kind of how we're doing it. I got to start involving the kids, boyfriends, girlfriends.
Right.
Well, girlfriends now. My daughter doesn't have a boyfriend yet, but and involving them in kind of our trips. So my middle one's girlfriend has come with us, and my older one's ex-girlfriend had come with us on like a trip to Jollywood, things like that. But we're like, let's open it up a little bit. But, I'm the one paying. So there's always that. What we decided is like this year we're doing that cross-country trip, right? We're going to Dallas, Grand Canyon, all that. Okay. It's the one where we're going to be right by Disneyland, but no one wanted to go to Disneyland, that one. And then Dollywood. So we have those 2 trips this year. And then in 27, we both just booked Star of the Seas. So Royal Caribbean. It is a itinerary which we kind of like. My one son kind of likes going to different places. So we are going to Perfect Day. We are going to, St. Thomas, St. Martin. I think it will be nice, right? We may do an excursion. It's a 7-day trip. We'll do the same thing that we did before. We have an ocean balcony for me and my wife. And then on the other side, directly across from us, will be the 3 kids. And they have a balcony that opens up into the middle of the ship. I forget what they call that. Neighborhood balcony, because they kind of like put these things together as neighborhoods. But I'm going to tell you, Star of the Seas looks great. I understand there's been some problems with some of their water rides, but I think they got it right here this time. And we had a great time. The thing that looks like this is going to be a little bit better, there's like a little food hall in part of the ship, which I think will be a nice differentiation. I think the other thing too is we will do some main dining, but we may do some specialty dining. And I think this go around, I think we might have to get like the soda package for all of us. It was just too hard to find like water.
So what did you do before then? Like,
what do you mean?
You just drank water? Like, what did you do?
No, so you have water, you have like 4 or 5 juices, and I guess I don't drink coffee, but I think there's just coffee and tea as well in like the Windjammer, right? Uh-huh. But what happens is like after everything's shut down for the night, like let's say it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Right.
And then you're like, yo, I'm thirsty. Well, you're kind of stuck because what do you get? Right? Like the soda machines, you can't have soda because you don't have the special cups, and you can't get water out of the soda machine. So you have to actually find a water machine somewhere, which is very difficult. That is a lesson for us that we learned. So we'll just wait it out and find like when we can get a pretty good price on the package. And that's what we'll do, because that was definitely a minus for us. Cause again, I remember like there was like a few nights where we're like, yeah, I'm so thirsty. Like, okay, well, let's go get some water. And we're like, dude, the ships are not small. The Utopia is a big ship. And to find water, like, took us a while. It got so bad that like we would send people out for water. Like it was some sort of like desert trek.
Survival.
Yeah, exactly. Can you go out and get 3 waters? Like, because we're not going out. Like, yeah, I guess I can, right? And after we found out where they were, it was still kind of a pain. So I think that would be the one thing we would change. And we'll probably do an excursion on one of the islands. But yes, I'm super excited. It's funny. So like a 7-day on this cruise will probably be about what a 4-day is at Disney. Yeah. But again, the Disney food is a lot better, but there's a lot more to do on the Royal Caribbean. So we're excited though. So that's 2027. And then in 2028, which we did not book yet because it's not out yet, but we are going to do Legends of the Seas, and that's where we're going to bring everybody. I guess I better get my wallet ready. Yes. Because that's going to be super expensive to add 3 people that are, not mine.
Yeah, make sure you can get that second mortgage on your house. All right?
Yeah, right. Add those people that are not mine. But I'm excited by this. So just today that happened. And again, they just opened up bookings today, and we were waiting. Our MEI travel agent hooked us up. So, because that's who we used for the past couple ones. Yeah.
Yep. And then we'll get a trip report from you when you get
Yes.
All right. All right. Damon, you wanted to lead this next part.
Everyone. So you've seen this social media thing where it asks you who you would sit next to on a plane, like pick a seat. We decided to do something very similar with Disney characters. Thought it would be kind of fun. You can find it over on our TikTok at Rhubarb Travelers, on our Instagram at Rhubarb Travelers, on our Facebook. And, it makes sense to join our group, even though we don't necessarily talk about this there. We talk about a lot of really fun things.
So if you are not aware of what Damon is talking about, pause the show, head on over to the Rhubarb Traveler TikTok account and take a look. It is all about airplane seats where you have to essentially choose who are you going to sit between or beside on this very long plane ride. So Damon, where are you going to sit?
I looked at this and decided for me, it's Baymax and Fairy Godmother. So seat number 3 for me. And I think this is because the Fairy Godmother could turn that airplane food into, a gourmet meal. And just in case I needed something, Baymax is right there, right? If in case there's something I get hurt, whatever I may need, I think Baymax has it covered. The other ones, they're tough for me. Mickey and Minnie would probably be a decent choice as well. The Tiana one and Belle one might not be bad, but some of these, I don't know if I could do a 12-hour flight. I'm going to be honest with you. So for me, it's the Baymax and the Fairy Godmother from Cinderella. I'm all in on sitting on that seat for 12 hours with no problems whatsoever.
Okay, for me, I had to think about this. Believe it or not, I think I would choose the Maleficent and Joy seat. And here's why. I think Joy and I would probably spend the entire 12 hours trying to get Maleficent to crack a smile and doing whatever it took to do it, because that would be a hard nut to crack, right? And I just think it would be amazing if Joy and I were able to actually make Maleficent smile. If I couldn't get that one, I would probably do Belle and Tiana, mainly because Belle would just read her book the entire time and Tiana would watch something about cooking on the screens, and that would leave me alone so that I could watch my movie. So, first choice is Maleficent and Joy. Second choice is Belle and Tiana. Folks, we're going to be doing more things like this, so make sure you go on over to TikTok, follow Rhubarb Travelers so that you can be the first to know about all of these super important surveys and talks that we're going to have. Okay. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this show. We'd like to thank our sponsor, don'tresistthetravel.com. Please.
Yeah, I should have gone there. I just, I already have everything on file over at the other place, but I'll tell you, I really got to switch.
Yes. So if you're going to take any type of travel anytime soon, please go to don'tresistthetravel.com and let the folks over there handle every detail in creating and helping you plan out your next extraordinary getaway. Please listen to us on all of your podcast streamers and rate us. If we are not on your favorite platform, drop us a message in the Facebook group so that we can get set up there. We are also asking, can you just go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and a review there? It will help us out tremendously. Even if you don't use Apple Podcasts to listen to the show, just head on over there.
I agree.
Make an account and just give us a 5-star rating. All right. It'll help us out.
And join the group. Please. Can we get to 100 people already? Gosh, yes. 97. We're stuck at 97. Please.
I know. For those of you that are in the group, share it on your timeline so that we can get more people into the group. We have an email that I've always forgotten to say up until this point. So we got to make sure
Well, it's funny because people asked.
I know. So we can, if you want to send us an email, send it to rhubarbtravelerspodcast@gmail.com. So if you have any questions you want to ask us, or if you have a trip report like Russell sent it to our email, rhubarbtravelerspodcast@gmail.com. Like we mentioned at the very beginning, please consider joining our Patreon group. It's just $5 a month right now. That goes a long way into helping keep the servers up and running. So please consider joining our Patreon subscribers. We are on all of the socials. Make sure you go follow us on X/Twitter.
Yeah, we have to talk about that though, right? Like,
I know.
Here's the thing. Like, I did one of the airplane things. So who would you sit next to? It's on TikTok and Instagram. Would love it if you could go over, share it, comment on it, all that fun stuff. Plus, you get videos of Blake.
That's right.
You can't beat videos of Blake. So
you can see that I have a face for radio. All right? By the way, a big shout out to my nieces, Paige and Jordan. They helped me out. They are sharing that TikTok with all of their friends, and hopefully that will help that out. So please head on over to TikTok, follow Rhubarb Travelers, and like all of those videos. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Head on over, follow all of those. So, with all that being said, Damon, I will see you on the next show.
Sounds good.
Folks, the Rhubarb Travelers podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company or NBC Universal, the parent company of Universal Studios. And as such, all opinions expressed on the show are exclusively our own. Please consult a DVC or Disney cast member or Universal team member for more information about anything we might have talked about today.